Okay, so I'll tell you what I see coming. I, by just paying attention to see like what different articles that the media is focusing on and just different stuff like that. Just paying attention to what's going on like around in, our orbit. And so I would say that they're going to hit us with some sort of energy weapon. We're going to think it's a nuke. That's what's going to be promoted as, that we've been nuked. That it's going to be extreme radiation. It's going to definitely, they've been slow dripping it. It is weird because for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, my scalp is so tingly. I feel like definitely more hair is falling out. And it is, like I had said like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, I said that I felt like there was something weird, like with the texture or something, how it feels. Like, kind of like guitar strings or something, and you've got them too tight. So something is definitely has my hair like, "Rah!" And the tingling in my scalp. I keep doing like kind of like just trying to stimulate it or unstimulate it or whatever, and just keep doing massages and stuff. The fucking frequency is so motherfucking loud in my ears. It's so horrible. God, I'm so sick of this shit. I can't even believe what it's gonna feel like to stop being poisoned and to stop being hit with these frequencies, especially because I have such an awareness of it, is like, oh my God, it's gonna feel like, like the biggest rest that suddenly comes over us. I bet you that that is part of the thing. And it's so trippy because I can't I can't explain all the stuff that I see and how I see it and how I understand this place and this earth and people and souls and stuff. I don't even know how to explain it all. But when this goes down, it's going to be marketed as a nuke, I think. And it's going to, the power and everything's going to go out. Like the grid's going to go down. And it is because of this crash. They're trying to do the crash for it's like the go in to take us over. It's like their big go in. It's all part of their game. So when it happens, it's to destabilize us even further, which they've been doing that anyways to all these different cities and stuff. And I think, if Florida has not shown people that people are not prepared, I could not even believe when I'm seeing so many people, like people are going through neighborhoods, taking food to people, and people are coming out to get it. Like they are not prepared at all. And even in a flood situation, like they're just in there in all of this water. And I've seen videos of people crying, walking around in the water. Everything is ruined. All my things, they're all gone in my head. And this is where I become like a maniacal crazy person. In my head, I'm like, well, less to carry. Like, I know that it's painful and they don't understand, but I get why it's going on. I get why it's happening. They don't, and they have to go through the loss. And I sound like I'm, heartless, but I see ahead. I see beyond what other people see. So I'm going to sound heartless to people who don't see what I see. So anyways, when that goes down, and it is kind of like all this buildup that we've been going through, like waiting for something to happen. And it just keeps being this slow, threatening, like, we got two sides at the line, and they're just like pumping each other's chest. Well, you know what I'm going to do? Well, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Just back and forth, chest bumping bullshit, It's what we've been going through this whole fucking time. And I swear to God that whoever has the control of the technology is flipping us back. So we're just like in this Groundhog Day fucking bullshit. So, this has to happen. We have to go through this to get past it. And so when these forces unite in this battle, it is going to be like the two sides are going to meet in a forceful way, finally. And when that goes down, so we have one side that wants the complete takeover of humanity, who wants to kill most of us and enslave the rest of us, to make us completely dependent on them. We know what they want. Mindless little sex toys and stuff that they can eat and stuff. So anyways, we've been exposed to what they want. We've seen it. Like, if you're paying attention, you know exactly what these motherfuckers' goals are. And then the other people, the ones, the force behind, which we are all joining in that force, an energetic force, we all come together in this Red Rover, we become this other. Even though we're not on the battlefield, energetically, we are behind them. So that force has become much more established than the other. The other is deteriorating. The other force is shriveling up. It hasn't the strength, and that has been the benefit of the slow drip. I mean, they have had people arrested, people dropping out of positions of power nonstop. So that has been destabilizing them as our side has grown energetically. And so when this battle goes down, we have one side that is our side, that is, hey, let us be free. And I'll tell you, this is disgusting. I bawled this morning over this. Oh my God. And I see things, like they show me things that are just, oh my God. And I see beyond even what I'm told. And it's super painful. Because in Winnipeg, I think BC, I'm pretty sure she was talking about British Columbia, but I'm not as familiar with all Canadian places or whatever. But I know this is what she was talking about. I'm positive she said Winnipeg. And so there was some, and you can look it up, but there was some big Native American traditional thing for October 4th, yesterday, I guess, that they were doing some kind of a ceremony. And 150 cops. And they had a big teepee, and it was full of kids and stuff like that. And 150 cops marched onto it, started tear gassing kids, took down a woman, took her down to the ground, just completely attacked these people, tore down the teepee, which was very sacred, like all of this stuff to go against their beliefs, their ability, just to kind of make it a criminal thing to want freedom. Why in the hell can't you go and sell it? Like, they're showing their hand of force so strongly, like these energies and that is that energy of clash coming together. And they use physical strength and power against us. But it is kind of like the love of God will be their defeat, because we all come together. And it is kind of like we could all sit there and just sing together. It has nothing. We don't have to go out and start battling. It's energetic. Everything is this energetic switch. And so when they were doing that, oh my God, it was just so heartbreaking. But you could see, I mean, that is like a desperate move to go in and do that. But they absolutely want to make it criminal to be free. And so, it's part of their big moves, and is what we are fighting for, as our freedom as human beings, to make decisions of how we want to live. And they want to control us. And it's so manipulative. Oh my God, seeing through the stuff that they do is exhausting. I swear to God, it is exhausting to see nonstop. Like, every fucking thing I turn on or talk to anybody or anything is just like, oh my God. It is, I don't know, that to me is one of the most difficult parts, is just, I see things so clear, and I just witness people so confused or whatever, So anyways, like I said, I can't even explain all this stuff. I don't even know at what level anybody can understand me, because the whole thing is is you can only understand people on your same wavelength. And I know I have been on my own wavelength. I'm sure there's other people who are on my same wavelength, but I have been on one that is very different than most people my whole entire life. So I know when I'm talking that people are not understanding things on the same level as what I'm saying it, that they're perceiving it and they're understanding. And so that it's hard to get the clear thing of what I'm really saying. Because to some people, it's just going to sound like words. And to some people, it's going to be, they're going to hear it on a different level. So anyways, I can just explain what I can see. And so when this goes down, like it has to happen, this battle of the two forces uniting in battle. And is like explosive, like micro, macro. So it's explosive thing that is going to happen that will seem like a nuke, that is going to be a radiation attack of some sort of technology where a lot of people are going to die real quick. And it is really fucking with my head as well, is because I know some people who I love very dearly who are sick right now. And I know, I just can't even ask people, how much more have you been willing to subject yourself to? Why can't you see what I am talking about? Why can't you see that you're being poisoned? Why do you believe that there is flus out suddenly killing the whole world? Oh, it's so frustrating. And then I've just got to come to peace. Like, okay, this isn't real. This isn't real. Just remember, this isn't real. You're going to see these people. This is just how this has to play out. It's fucked, man. There's so many challenges in this whole experience. So anyways, when this goes down and lights go down and stuff like that, and we are not going to have access to information. If there's information, it is going to be controlled. And I think that we're going to have to go through a certain amount of time, and it could be in different communities, different amounts of time, but it's going to be a certain push, because that push of having no information pushes you internal. It pushes you inside. And that you got to remember, everything, no matter what they're trying to tell you that this stuff is happening for, it's all happening for your awakening, your consciousness to become aware, and it is your soul to come to life. So there's going to be a period of time that's going to push that agenda to wake people up. So there will be like radio silence, I think, for a certain amount of time. Once that goes down and we start hearing the truth, that is when things have changed. I think some of us will notice, because we'll notice that there is not that high-pitched sound in the atmosphere anymore. And I think when this goes down, this weapon thing that they're going to do, it is going to do something to the water and sky. I think it's going to be both. I think that there is going to be something that is going to, like, if they bomb right outside Seattle, or they do one of these things, like these detonation of these energy weapons of some sort, if they do that, yeah, and right outside of New York, right outside of Seattle, right outside of San Francisco, because they've already got the table set. They've got submarines that are coming after us in the water outside of some of these places. And they've got battleships off shores. So they're setting it up. That's what I'm saying. If you use your awareness to pay attention, and then the articles that are being put out about radiation and attacks and all of this stuff, and how to survive a all of that. They're just pushing hard on that. So, and it could very well be, because since they're actively trying to murder so many people, that whatever they're telling you to do will be the thing that will take you out. So you don't just automatically, this is where discernment comes in. You don't just automatically do what the narrative is. You got to listen to yourself. You got to pay attention. You got to be aware of what is going on around you and what you need to do. What does your body need? How do you need to take care of yourself? Don't just do automatically what they say to do, because you got to remember, these are the people trying to kill us. And so, and one of the things is like an article coming out in Bloomberg or CNN or any CDC, all of these places putting out these articles. I think we can pretty well trust that these are not the people who are there to help us. Like anybody who thinks that they are, you need to wake up. And so when the stuff goes down and it's going to be localized traumas, just like the coastal cities will be hit hard in one way. In like the Midwest, some tornadoes will suddenly stir up or something. There's going to be it's going to hit hard in a lot of different ways. However, they're going to do it. It's going to be a assault, and it's going to be a lot of localized trauma where people have to come together. People in communities and stuff will have to come together. Hopefully people have some sort of a group. Like I know my neighbors, shit goes down, people will come together. And I mean, they've already got in Florida, people holding guns on each other over gasoline and stuff. That's how prepared they were. Like it's nonsense where people go to. Like, and you can see like why this has to happen. These people have got to see. So much people have to see. So much. Oh, so exhausting. Fuck, this is exhausting. So anyways, when the stuff goes down, it's going to be a certain amount of time before we start being told the truth. And once that goes down, there is going to be such an upset that is going to go on with the people. The people are going to be so disarmed by the information. They're going to be so confused, and it's going to be like discombobulating, like going through a fun house or something. Like they're going to not know what's up and what's down. Like these people are not pretending to be locked into this mind trap. And when it goes and flips the other direction, it's going to be very chaotic. And when people realize the crimes that are being done against them and their families and their loved ones, they're going to react. In most cases, they're going to overreact. And there's going to become, if I was a doctor or a nurse or a pharmacist, any of those people, I'd be hiding at this point. Like, if you have not come out and claimed that you are on this side, that you have spoken out against the corruption, then you are going to not, like, people need to expose themselves of which side they're on, legitimately, to the people who are about freedom. Because when that goes down, those people will be hunted down. The ones who were doing these, and it still are, they're still pushing this. I mean, the other day when I had the car radio on, I had was either listen to traffic or listen to the radio. And I get a lot of Canadian stations, which to me, all the time when I hear the Canadian stations, I'm mind blown on the propaganda. Oh my God, your government is the wonderful thing. Oh, your government, they are the best people in the whole wide world. The government is out for you. The government, oh my God, it's like, shut the fuck up. And the other day, the commercials, oh my God, that I was hearing was like, oh my God, it is disgusting. But they are 100% still pushing for everybody to go in and get them in all these places that have them readily available. So when people see that has happened, I mean, there's going to be some Walgreens and shit that will be torched. There's going to be people, doctors and stuff, that are going to be hunted down. Like, this is going to become super intense for a while, I think. I think it's going to be scary because people are going to freak the fuck out. And just like for all of us who woke up in this slow awakening, and we woke up to see the truth and spend many sleepless nights trying to figure out, how do we stop this? What can we do? How can we survive in this? How can we live knowing what we know? And we all had to go through that, and it was slow and it was hard. And we had to get to a point and to be able to just, make it day by day, knowing what is happening around you. And knowing that so many people participate with just ignorance that they don't even realize. And so going through all of that, well, this is going to be abrupt. This isn't going to be like what we got to experience of the slowly going into the awareness of the crimes that are going on around us and against us. And so when that goes down for these other people, it's going to be like an abrupt slap in the face. It's going to be like you're in a dead ass sleep and somebody just came in and poured a bucket of cold, icy water on top of your head. That's how people are going to be woke up. And it's going to be super, super intense. And it's going to be really traumatic because at the same time, it's going to have mass amounts of death being around us. And that is, there's way too many people who have already given up. There's just, they want out. They need to go. And it's going to happen. It's going to go. And, yesterday I heard somebody, because there's so many of these spiritual people, we're about to have the 3D, 5D split. All of the people who, like me, who have been working on their healing and, changing their lives themselves, that is going to turn in a direction to start seeing the benefits of the changes that you have created for yourself. And so that is that 5D, like I've raised the bar for my life and now I get to experience what that's about. And the 3D trappings will be people who are just waking up, who are very like, I can't believe this has happened. I can't, they're going to be very focused on the traumatic events of the 3D experience. And so they're going to be reacting to that experience. So that will be like the shift. That will be the separation in the two worlds. The world of the people who have been working on themselves, raising that standard for themselves and putting out a certain energy. And then you're going to have the other ones who have been, sleep and, a lot of them have been bullied, have been mean, all of that stuff. And that energy will come back and they'll have to face that energy. And it's going to be, a lot of people won't even be ready to face their own selves. They're going to be just ready to lash out to everybody else because they're going to be so mad at themselves and they haven't learned how to stop continuing these toxic behaviors. They haven't learned yet that them lashing out is a creation of a lot of negative energy. They're creating that they have to go internal. They have to go inside and to try and understand themselves and the experience so that they can process it, so they can heal from it. I just saw this girl. This was like so perfect because it was this woman who was older and she was literally crying and she was talking about this person who she had just gotten together with, and they sold themselves off as this great person, draw you in, like, oh, they're so great, draw you in, get you feeling vulnerable and comfortable, and, okay, like going into the relationship, and then, drop the ball of this is, none of this is real, I don't even really like you, however it goes. Like, I've been through plenty of these relationships where you suddenly are in a relationship with somebody who you didn't even notice was that person. It's like, because you're not paying attention to the red flags. You're seeing what you want to see. You're experiencing what you want to experience. You're experiencing what you need to experience to grow and learn. But most people don't understand that level. But so she was so upset because she said she had done all the work. She was so healed. She was doing so good. Her life was so independent. She was just perfect. Everything was great. And then she allowed this relationship in that has devastated her, destroyed her, brought her right back to this weak, vulnerable place. To me, my response is, like I've said before, is you heal stuff so you can get prepared for healing the next stuff. The experiences that come in are to promote, to provoke, to build, to expose those places to you. So she needed to see that. She thinks like, oh, you just, you destroyed me or whatever. No, he showed it to you. He exposed to you what you still had left to heal. Because you wouldn't have ever gone into the experience and you would have taken it slower, whatever it is, the experience that you were there to learn from, he's teaching you that. And when you are being triggered, it's so that things can come up. This is something that people have such a hard time really comprehending, I think. And I don't even know if I'm explaining it right, but I can see it. I can understand it, and I can see it so clearly. But is everything that she really needs to heal is being shown to her. And as long as you're pointing outwards, thinking that this person caused this person created this, instead of thinking like, oh, see, I thought I was all healed. I thought I was doing really good. And then this person came along and brought all this stuff up. And that is the stuff that you need to release. Those are the gifts from God. These people coming into your life to bring this stuff up. Because this is a time of ascension. And if you are not healing, you're being held back. You're holding yourself back by not doing your healing. That is the only way forward. And so when this stuff goes down, and we got people in utter chaos, freaking the fuck out, and we've got disasters happening. I mean, there will be water. No telling what's going to be in the sky. There's going to be something, I think, for sure. If they're going to try and simulate a second coming, if the Anunnaki are going to come, they're going to bat, like, I don't know, like, what's going to go on, but I think something is going to go on in the sky. And definitely there's going to be some changes in the water, in the landscape of the earth when this goes down, because that's already started and it's already projected. Like, we already know that's all going to happen. It's like it's written. And so timing is the thing. We're all trying to figure out the timing and how to stay stable throughout this situation. And you have to be fluid. You have to be in the movement with the situation, and you have to be prepared. I mean, some of these people who think like there's nothing to prepare for, well, then they just don't have that drive inside of them to survive. They are dependent. They need somebody else to rescue them or something. And there's a lot of people who are just waiting for Jesus to rescue them. I mean, I see it all the time in comments. People are waiting for a savior to save them. And this is you proving that you can save yourself. That is the thing. However they've manipulated it in the Bible to say it, I don't know, but it is about saving yourself. It's about following the pathway. He showed you the way. Now you have to follow the recipe. And so, however it is that they've manipulated people's minds to be dependent, that's all they want is dependence, because that's control. But people have to see that for themselves. So when the stuff goes down, there's going to be, a lot of death and a lot of trauma and a lot of violence. And then after, there's going to be it's going to be in the cleanup. That's when the real healing's going to start after. And I don't know, hopefully there will be martial law. Hopefully there will be something to control the chaos. And so I think it's going to be fast once the shit goes down. It's like that they finally have made a move. Somebody's finally slapped the other person and it's time for shit to go down. That's going to be the explosive trauma thing that has to go down. And hopefully they put it into martial law. Everybody has to stay in their house and they turn on the TV and start telling people and explaining things to people to get people to calm down. And we start our healing like that. But without a doubt, there will be people who are going to hunt down people. Like, there will be, for sure. There will be people hunting down doctors, hunting down nurses, hunting down police, hunting down judges, hunting down administrators, hunting down CEOs, hunting down managers. All the people who played along, they're going to be in danger. Because they've been targeted in people's minds, and the people who are targeting have got nothing to lose. They don't care. And so it's been important to choose the right side all along, to, know what you're standing up for, and to be on the side of freedom and the people, because all human beings, just as all animals. I mean, how people can see that when an animal has taken and controlled by a lab or by somebody else, that isn't right. Well, that's what they've been doing to us, and that it's not right. We have the same rights as every animal. We have the same right to freedom. We don't have to pay to be a part of their system. That is just so that they can make money off of us. So they create a system, they create laws. There's one thing that keeps standing out to me. I know I talked about this a long time ago, but it just really keeps standing out to me, is even seatbelt laws. The seatbelt law is just a law. They create laws so that they can control us and make it a crime. It's another way to control and create criminals out of people who are just trying to live their life. And then to sell us stuff, like when you really wrap your head around that, back in the day when people started having cars and they started building them out of steel, they were big and heavy, like little tanks driving around, and they were safe, and people didn't need to use seatbelts. Like, seatbelts weren't even a thing. Like, there was probably seatbelts in the car, but it wasn't a thing. Like, everybody didn't use them. And you could have a wreck, and people would walk away from a wreck. Well, then when they had to change it, because plastic and vinyl is their jam, and start making cars out of plastic and vinyl, then there became a problem, because the cars couldn't sustain injury. And that you being in these plastic cars, then you could be killed. So then they had to create more things to save us, more laws, and then they have to put in airbags and all this stuff. It's all of them doing this stuff. All they had to do was just go back to metal cars, but they're not going to give us resources like that. They're not going to make things out of metal, because they prioritize those heavy metal. They prioritize wealth over life. They don't care about our life. They just care about creating laws to control us and products to sell us. That's their big plan, And as long as people continue to worship material objects and to continue the participation in consumerism, then their lives will stay in that stagnant 3D. What are you willing to trade for this? What are you willing to sell for this thing? And the whole realization that people are having to come to about money and the control, and money isn't even real. Money was never real. It was only had the value that we gave it. We gave value to their money, to their diplomas, to their education, to their jobs. We are the ones who gave that stuff value, and it had no value, and they played a game to try and continue to get us to think it was true, that those things had value, but they didn't. We valued them. That was what was missing inside of us. It is so much like the Wizard of Oz. Like, that story really is representative. And, I was watching this movie yesterday. I got really burnt out on the sci-fi horrors. Now I'm back on the Lifetime. And this movie that I was seeing yesterday it was this weird thing with this relationship. What was it? It was something. Oh, yeah. Oh, this was a totally different, this wasn't a Lifetime movie. This was a totally different movie. And it had it had this situation where these people bought this house. So they lived in this city in New York, and it was so much crime and stuff. They wanted to move and get a house out in the country. And so when they went to look, they were like, well, we can get a really cool one because there's so many foreclosures. We can get a cool house. We'll just buy one of these foreclosed houses. So they went to a small town, found this like magnificent fucking estate, and bought it. And it had every single thing was still left in the house. Nothing had been moved or anything. And so, it turns out that this was a generational farmhouse, and it was in this small town. And so, these people have been a part of the community since the beginning. And the battle between what's right and what's wrong, for the bank to be able to come in, because the dad was in the nursing home, and the son, who had tons and tons of problems from his abusive dad, that he was in prison for a couple years. Well, they came in and they took the house and took all of their stuff. The banks did. Because, and this is something that was probably owned outright, but taxes, so whatever the guy said, I missed a couple payments, and then they just come and take something. This is something that was these people's, like, what's right and what's wrong. In the system, they say, oh, we can take your house and we can sell it to somebody else. But then you get those people in the house, and then you start seeing this whole moral, battle between what's right and what's wrong. And that is the thing, like how so many people have participated in this system of corruption. And it has created division. It has put people into a darker place, because legitimately that should not have been taken from them. It was their house. It was their estate. It was their place. And the government should have never taken it and then sell it to somebody else. And then once these people see what's going on, I mean, they should have, figured something else out. But see, they had dumped all their money in, and their house was already gone. And and this just really brings it forward to me as well, with this whole control by the developers, the real estate agents, the contractors, and the control of how we live our lives and where we live our lives, and the creation of the containers that we are supposed to submit to. So it's all a part of their whole thing. So they get somebody in up against a wall. So what you got two people against a wall? What's supposed to happen? And when I was watching it as well, I was thinking, it's so crazy, because like I've said before, these are our stories. These are all our stories. These are the stories of humanity that are being played out. They use the stories to manipulate people, to direct people in how to behave and stuff, but they aren't that creative. These are our stories. Whether these stories happen and just go out into the ethers and someone else picks them up and writes them down and creates a movie, I don't know how it all goes down. I just know that the movies are our stories. And when you see them, you can see. And how much stuff really was created to control us and direct us in how we were to see the world. And I think before all of this corruption was created so that these people became insatiably rich, was that there was an intention to help people to define themselves, to help them, to guide them, like giving your kids rules or something. I think that there was, there is some sort of essence to that, but it got out of balance. Control and greed gets out of balance. And so that's why the balance has to shift back. And all the people who have been putting out that negative energy is going to come back and hit them when the shift occurs. The people who have been going and putting out positive energy, that energy is going to take them into new arenas, new areas, new timelines, if you will. So it's going to be a creation of something better. So it really legitimately is like this leveling up in the video game. So it's like a group leveling up. Like we're all playing the game. We're all playing the video game. We're all playing the game at the same time. And some people are going through the challenges and will level up into the next level. Other people are just, keep having these battles and not seeing and not moving forward. Just like if that woman, I made a comment, but I saw her post was from August. And so she's probably already done a lot more healing or got herself a lot more right. So my comment is more so other people could see it. But it is when you really start seeing that those things that are being brought up, they couldn't be brought up if you didn't have something left to heal. So you've got to look at these things as blessings and as gifts. And but that's the thing is, a lot of people don't look at them like that. So that's what I mean when I say the challenges of the game, that they can't they can't use the proper weapons in the game because they don't see what is around the corner, if you will. Like, some of these things are so hard to explain. But so anyways, when we get more in sync with the game, so this is like a leveling up in the game. And I think that when the people who are at the lower level, like when the level up happens and it becomes clear, and it will be kind of like the same thing of wealth, like how there is a huge division suddenly in wealth that we all noticed. Like, oh, the poor, we're getting poor and poor, and the rich are getting richer and richer. So what's going on? It's gonna be kind of like that. Like, it's going to seem like the people who have been putting out positive are having so much positive come back to them. And it's going to be very noticeable to the people who are struggling. And that is going to be a motivator. That is why there's going to be all of these people who have been stuck at the level are going to be going towards the people who are moving up in the game. Like, how did you do that? What did you do? How did you move? How did you get that? Like, like even the people who play video games all the time, they share those kinds of advancements of how to move further in the game. And so it will kind of be like that. Like, a lot of people will see, like, oh, how is life suddenly working, especially during this tragedy? How's life suddenly working for you? Why are things getting better for you? And so it's going to be a huge motivational factor in this awakening to get people to move towards that Christ consciousness and to start healing and doing better for themselves. That is going to be the huge motivation. But I think that is this is the big opportunity for people to heal for the ascension, because I think there's going to be another wave that is going to come in that is going to be where the people who don't heal, the people who woke up and don't heal and are just stuck, there'll be another one of those leveling up, and those people will go then. And I think that is the kind of more of the rapture kind of idea. But I don't know, this could totally be the rapture, and it could totally be that there will be two people and one will suddenly be gone. I mean, that has been in so many things. I would think it would be later, but I don't know. It could be right now. That's what's going to go on. I just think there's way too many people who are still asleep. And I believe that everybody gets this opportunity. So I don't think it would happen yet, but we'll see. But and when that happens, you literally don't know. Like, if this is the rapture, if this is what's going to go down, the people who are going to be leaving are going to be the people who gave up. And they will go up to the heavens. They will go up to the creation of the next space that they are wanting to go to. It will be a transition out of this experience. So, you can't just, like, there's way too many people who are going to pass that I don't see them as being Christians. I think that's another level. I think when this goes down, I think a lot of the people who consider themselves Christians are going to be questioning their religion, and they're going to see the significance of why they need to create a personal relationships with their creator or savior or whatever, not through the books of the controllers of this experience. So I think they're going to, that is going to be part of their awakening. So I don't think like the rapture is going to be all of a sudden, the Jesus people are going to all of a sudden go, but it could be. It could be, because consciousness can create whatever experience it wants. And if all of them came together as a contracted group to be like, okay, so when this goes down, we're all just going. We're going to go together. It's going to be very impactful for the rest of the people. Because whatever is going to happen, it's all about the impact of the awakening. It's this collective impact of the creation of this awareness in people. Because so that they can take responsibility for themselves and move into higher minded states of being. So all of this stuff has to go down. So if it goes down, it would be to help the other people to learn. It wouldn't be because, oh, these ones get to go because they're better, or the people who are left behind, even though in the movies and stuff, they always show the people who are left behind questioning things like, why didn't I go? What's wrong with me? And there will be a lot of that if that were to happen. I think, though, there's so many people who have given up, that they've just given up and they want out. They want out of the game. And believe me, I don't judge them. I mean, Jesus Christ, I've had so many days. Just take me, please. I'm like, come on, airplanes, bomb me. Come on, poison kill me. Like, it's like, come on. So I totally get it. No judgment at all. Like, this is hard. This is, I would imagine this is probably one of the hardest games as any incarnation that has ever been played out. I imagine this is the hardest. I imagine the people who do get through it, that they will be very revered by the galactic body, because this is so difficult. So anyways, just, remember when all of this stuff goes down, like, to just stay safe. Don't go out and get caught up in the chaos. Remember, it's the people who are just waking up. They're the ones who are going to be, and there's going to be the instigators that the other side's going to put out there. And I think when this, actually goes into battle, that there will be a lot of people who are there to diffuse the instigators. And that, I think, would be part of the reason why there would be martial law, is to diffuse the instigators. Because I think that one side wants the chaos, and I think one side fears the chaos. That is why there has been such a slow drip, is to try and wake people up before the truth comes out, because of the chaos and what will happen. So anyways, yeah, that's something that you can just remember too, is like, if we hadn't had this slow drip to the awakening, whatever chaos is going to go on, just remember it would have been billion times worse. So, everything has to do with the awakening and awareness and seeing the truth. So anyways, I think, anything can go at any moment of any day. Like, we're so close. And no matter, every time that it feels like it just keeps getting pulled back, like a threat here and a threat there, and this is going down and that's going down, and it doesn't seem to go. It's going to go. It will go, and it's going to go quick. You just got to keep remembering, like, this is, two teams on the battlefield, just chest bumping, like, well, you know what I'm going to do? Well, you know what I'm going to do? And I think that the one side, our side, definitely already knows the games that they're going to play. Like, I think our side has a lot more clarity and a lot more, I just kind of picture Trump being just like kind of stoic out there, just kind of quiet, just giving him the stare down. And the other one's up there, whoa, like, and he's just staring, like, because I think one side really doesn't know what the fuck they're going to do. They're just like, they're just fighting for their lives at this point. And the other side knows that. And the other side, the good side, knows that that side's weak. And they've let them jump around and dance to wear themselves out. And the whole time they're doing that, they're making arrests and making them weaker and weaker. So just keep that in mind, that when this goes down, it is the two teams, one of them is much stronger than the other. Like, the battle's already been won. It's already been written. It's already a part of our history. We're just in it to play it out, to experience it, to feel it. And it's, we all know what it feels like. It's rough. It's like, I swear, I sit there to myself, to my higher self, like, why? Why? But we'll see. There will be some point. Every time anything goes on, it's always when you see it in the rearview mirror is when you have a deeper understanding, a better perspective of why things happen. So just stay strong and know that we're finally getting close. But it is going to be dramatic and it is going to be hard. So you have to stay safe. You have to be prepared. And you have to stay with your awareness, paying attention to what's going on around you, and be ready to help others, because there's going to be such mass confusion in neighborhoods and stuff. And people are going to quickly find out why they were awake before the other people. And I think it's going to become kind of overwhelming, like in a battle, like in the war and the battles that we've seen in the history, where you have like lines and lines of soldiers in bed laying there moaning, and you got like 3 nurses walking around trying to help them all. It's going to feel like that. It's going to feel like there's an endless amount of people that need help. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to be challenging. And just do what you can do. You can't help or save everybody. And, and anybody who knows the truth, just keep trying to get them to understand. Like, this is the battle for freedom, and we're winning. So stay strong, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.